Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of Coronatined with a copywriter. Today, I'm with my awesome mate, Adil Amarsi, the $700 million man.
Yay.
Who is now in lockdown in England. But there is good news because we were just chatting and Disney Plus has been released in the UK today. So, Adil, what have you been doing with your time?
Watching Disney Plus, I'm not gonna lie. Like, my cats usually wake me up at 6 a.m. Like, my cat is programmed to wake me up the same time I used to go do jujitsu, but because I'm injured, I'm taking some time off.
Yeah.
He hasn't gotten the memo. He's like become a cat alarm clock. He will wake me up at 6. Like,
Okay.
I can go to sleep at 4. He'll wake me up at 6. Does not give a shit. But this morning was the first time they woke me up, and I wasn't pissed at him because my first thoughts were, holy shit, I can go watch Disney Plus. So I did.
You've been posting about it for days. You've been like,
Because I legit forgot Disney Plus was coming, and like the world was so doom and gloom. Are we going into lockdown? Is everything gonna be okay? What's the money situation? And my brain went, we need some good shit. Let's talk about some shit we need to look forward to. I was like, Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
Even better, you get Nat Geo with it. Like, dude, how much education are you gonna get?
You could just be there mesmerized. I feel like that would be really good for working in the background too. I don't know.
Definitely.
Maybe it would be very distracting. I'm not sure.
It depends. I can't watch cartoons in the background.
Okay.
I still have a week. Like, I'm reliving my Saturday morning cartoon show. I'm still in my PJs, which is the best. I sat down. I literally made some eggs for myself, and I literally watched. No word of a lie. I watched the '90s Iron Man episode, like the first, because I love that show.
Yeah.
Then I watched The Silver Surfer, which I haven't seen since the '90s.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, like, it was Recess and X-Men. And I'm like, my life is pretty much happy right now. I'm good. Because, like, I have the complete Spider-Man collection from, like, the
amazing.
1990s series. But now it's on my TV.
Yeah.
So I'm like...
That's awesome. You're like, take that, quarantine. I don't even care.
I'm going to entertain my ass. That's what I'm going to do.
I feel like that's so timely, too, because let's just be real. Netflix is running dry. Struggling.
Oh, it really is. The amount of people have been like messaging me going, dude, I am so bored of Netflix right now. I don't know what to do. It's like I've watched everything on Prime and Netflix, and I don't know about you, but like a lot of my friends do this, and I do too, which is we tend to watch a lot of the same shit on repeat.
Okay.
Like we'd get through a series, and then we'd be like, I really like that series. I want to watch it again, and we watch it again,
run it into the ground straight in. You just like
like. I can't watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Oh, I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Okay,
but, like, I know all the words to that fucking show now because like I've watched it so much.
Yeah,
and it's crazy.
That's great. Yeah, we burned through that. They just uploaded the season to Stan here, which is what they have in Oz. And yeah, we like tore through that so fast when they uploaded the new season.
But, what, season 6?
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah.
Damn it! I need to actually catch up on that. I think I've seen bits and pieces of it, but I'll catch up soon.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, but that was also kind of the motivation, I guess, behind some of these interviews as well. Obviously, we're all just going to be chilling out in some form or fashion. Probably people hopefully people are taking advantage of this time to do some other projects and stuff. But at the same time, I figured that this would be an awesome chance to highlight some of the most incredible copywriters that are alive today. Hence why I'm talking to you.
Thank you. I just snuck in kind of the back door. Just got in. It's kind of what
snuck in the back door. Oh, is that what you do?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know that.
I as soon as I said it, the euphemism just came to my brain. For everyone listening,
that's all right.
I'm fucking aware. I just said it, and my brain went, just go with it, see what happens. It's just a thing. But no, during this time, I actually set myself about so my brain has to thrive on challenge.
Okay.
And I think you and I have had this. Unless my back's against the wall, I'm really kind of not going to do it much. Like, that's kind of how my weird brain works. My back has to be the wall. It's like, life is okay right now. Life is easy. I got some shit I can do, whatever. And then, like, hard times come over, my brain goes, you know what? Let's go do some stuff now. Like, if you've ever seen Spider-Man Into Spider-Verse, have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it yet. Sorry.
Dude,
I know it's so good. I just haven't.
It's so good. so good. I'm like the poster child of loving that movie. I've got so many of my friends to like. Every time my friends come over, if we've gone baked, we end up watching Spider-Man Into Spider-Verse. That is like our go-to movie now. It's so good. But there's a scene where if you know, like, slight spoiler, but not giving anything away. There's a scene basically where one Spider-Man is talking to Miles Morales, and he's like, "This is really like." He's imitating Doc Ock and the Kingpin talking because he's in an event, and he's like, no, no, no. And he's like, it's all the same thing, and what? It's just so cliche. Watch, he's gonna say, now you have 24 hours, and then he's like, you have 24 hours. It's like, I told you. But it's just a bit because the world's not going to end. The world's going to end. Like, the thing happens and the world's going to end. There's like a little bit of space in between that time, and that's where I do my best work. That's my fucking life, because there's a bit of time that I'm just like, I'm really good at this. Let's do it.
You're like, and then it's just like, and Adil just vanished. He's like, I'll be gone for 36 hours, and I'll come up for air once I smash out these 3 sales letters and 20 email series that I have to do.
And 2 opt-in pages, remember?
Okay, that one too, yeah.
It was in 3 different markets, and I'm like, I did all that in 36 hours. Fuck you guys, I'm amazing. And then there was the stress build-up afterwards. I was like, I think I'm dying. I'm having an existential crisis. Please send me.
Okay. So that's you got to look out for your own well-being, though. Who cares if you can do some awesome stuff in a limited amount of time if you're depressed for like 5 days afterwards?
Yeah, that was not fun. So like my whole plan, that was during a catch up. So the people that don't know, I got there was a server hack issue, and I had to basically like redo 5 months worth of 5 months of client work in like the shortest space of time.
Wow. Okay.
And it had to, like, because I'm an idiot. If so I have this really weird belief that you hit a plateau of technology and you're kind of like, I'm good, please stop going.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I hit that plateau like 3 years ago, like 2017. So I have like an iPhone 8 Plus. I have a MacBook from 2015. Like, I have not updated any of my shit to the new stuff. I still have a PS4 and Xbox One. So like my life is like stuck tech 2017. I still use Pages. Fuck you, Google Docs. Just, there's a bunch of stuff. And I believe that every person gets that plateau in their life. So like, for like Gary Halbert, it was notepad and pen. We're gonna use notepad.
Yeah.
No one's gonna buy online. They need to actually like order by mail order, which is asinine today. If I said that to you, you'd look at me like I was a crazy person. Like,
well, you already said you don't use Google Docs, and I think you're crazy. But
it's a net. Yeah, I do use Google Docs. Just I don't like using Google Docs. If I can use something, it's Pages. I have control over it.
Okay.
But I think everyone like reaches a plateau. Like, some of my friends, it was Microsoft Word. For me, it was Pages. Other friends, it's like Open Docs or like Google Drive or Evernote. And I think you keep going and you hit like a tech plateau. I hit mine pretty quickly, which is quite funny considering I used to be a tech head when I was younger.
Yeah.
But like now I'm just like stuck with it. But my whole premise and point to this is, the reason that I'm able to do so much in so little time is simply because I have formulas that are going through my head constantly. And these formulas like have to be defined in a certain way. And kind of going back to my earlier point, because there is a whole overarching thing.
Oh yeah,
it's
that's
filling
right.
time properly. So for me, as you guys can see over my shoulder, I'm still building my office. That is a gigantic ass pillow on top. It's snuggly as fuck, by the way.
I bet.
I'm not going to even try and be cool about it. I'm like, that thing is awesome.
This is my body pillow.
Right now, it's drying, but yes. It's fucking awesome. But no, if you look beyond the body pillow, you shall see my book collection and my course collection that continues on down this aisle here. The reason I'm putting that out there is because we have a lot of books that we've bought over the years. Entrepreneurs we all have, and there are books that we've not yet read. So right now, instead of freaking out and panicking and life is going to go to hell and whatever, start reading these books. Like, literally, start reading these books. Feed this motherfucker right here, because this motherfucker starts to get smart. Once that gets smart, you start looking at things different ways. And one of the best mantras ever is by Dan Kennedy. When everyone's freaking out, run to the fire, not away from it. When you run to the fire, you get way more stuff done. And for me, like, people are like, okay, they're in crisis mode, they're thinking. Stuff like these interviews, by the way, I'm doing plenty of them because I fucking love them. What they do is they give people either hope, they give people a break, they give people some sort of fun. And that's what I want to provide. And the other thing I'm doing right now, so just give you an idea of the challenge list of things I've done. I'm going through 4 separate courses. I'm reading 3 different books. I'm
Wow.
writing a book, by the way. This thing is going to become a book. It's
Is
10
that your
chapters.
crime novel or is that a copywriting book, marketing book?
It's a marketing book called The Alchemy of Persuasion.
Ooh.
I'm also working on my crime novel as well, which I
Okay.
still need to title.
What does it? What is this on year 7? I heard about it in podcasts. You're talking about your crime
Yeah.
novel.
Fuck. I was gonna say, how do you? I've not told you about my crime novel. It is year
No.
7. It's there. Like, I keep getting sidetracked. Like, I
Yeah.
can't get past a certain point, and I need to read, and then, I'll do it over the. We're
It's a
supposedly,
lifelong, it's a life
yeah.
goal. You know, you got plenty of time for
It's
that one.
essentially, I'm gonna like produce it when I'm 40 or
Yeah.
50 years.
Okay.
Like everyone has that one midlife crisis thing.
Yeah.
Writing this novel is gonna be my.
You're
It's
gonna
my
wake up at
Everest. It's
like
my Everest.
41 and just like, this is my year.
Yeah, just like, nah, ready, go.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
what is it? Based on the coronavirus and a detective in the corona wars. I don't know. It's gonna be fucking weird. But no,
Yeah.
the book's already like fleshed out and whatever. But no, the thing I was gonna say with this, The Alchemy of Persuasion has been on my list for 3 years.
That's awesome.
I actually did record this book. I actually did create the entirety, but it was a different book back then.
Mhm.
Um, but I recorded it. My laptop got stolen. I had all the recordings on it, so of course I lost it all and I haven't got around to actually re-recording it since.
Oh no.
But this year, everyone says we're going to be in quarantine for 3 weeks in the UK, but realistically, I'm packing mentally for like 3 months.
Okay.
Like mentally, I'm like, it's 90 days. We're going to be in quarantine,
Mhm.
which for an extrovert like myself is hell. But
Mhm.
that's why I do interviews like this, so I can actually feed the extroversion in my brain. But I'm writing a book. I'm doing a course. I'm taking 4 different courses. I'm reading 3 other books, and I'm producing a fuckload of podcasts and content creating.
Yeah,
Main
that's
reason
awesome.
why now is the time.
Yeah.
Now is the time that you've got. Like, think of the excuse. I wish I had the time.
Mhm.
Guess what, motherfucker? You do.
Yeah.
And self-employed people from home, they're like, yeah, it's good
Mhm.
everyone else gets to have time off, but like, I still gotta run my shit. I mean, business is still taking over. Right.
Yeah. If any, yeah, for a lot of us, if anything, it's like we're more busy now
Yeah,
because of the stuff that's going
we
on.
have more people to deal with on a
Yeah.
day-to-day basis, and we have to put up with their energy. I don't know about you guys, but there's such a weird energy in the world right now that
Mhm.
genuinely there are some days I'm like, I could write like 3 sales letters today, and then I'll start on one and get dead blank page, and I won't be able to write all day, or I'd feel terrible for some reason.
Oh,
No,
wow.
one
Mhm.
of the easy ways I found for the empaths in the
I was about
room,
to say that's the empath curse right there. You're just bringing
right?
on all the doom of the world from existing. It's just
Yeah.
attracted to you like a magnet.
Oh, it is. It's a shit magnet. But I was going to say one of the easy ways you guys can get around this is pick a goal. Like, I'm not
Mm.
kidding. The reason I've overloaded myself with so much work is because it's like all goals oriented stuff. But like one of the
Mhm.
big ones for me is I'm going to be picking up my ukulele again. I'm going to be start playing my uke again. I'm going to start playing piano again. Just because those things are things that feed my soul. And as a tip, I don't know if this works with everyone because some countries like the UK is supposed to give you like a tax subsidy to actually help you pay your rent and bills during this time.
Mhm.
I don't know if I actually qualify for it. So instead, what I've done is I've actually emailed my landlord and gone and said, look, crazy times right now. The government says 3 weeks. I expect it to be 90 days. Can we work out a deal instead? And the deal is, how about you reduce my rent for the next 90 days? So I pay you an X amount.
Mhm.
Instead of getting the rest of that cleared off and not paid to you, why don't we calculate it in 90 days time and then recalculate that through the next 6 to 12 months of my tenancy agreement? That way, yes, my rent goes up significantly, like in the next, after 90 days,
Mhm.
but it also gives me breathing space and time to create. So it means that my rent is cheaper, but it gives me time to actually mentally prepare everything I need to do for my business to take off and continue taking over.
Mhm.
And again, I even pointed that to them, it's like, as I'm the only tenant that lives in my building by himself because everyone else has roommates, obviously I have a higher risk. I'm a higher risk, so to say, but I also out earn everyone else in the building. So, well, most people, I don't really know how much I out earn everyone else, but like most people in my building, I know, but still,
Well,
it's one of
yeah,
those
but
things. I
you
don't
have
actually
like unlimited earning potential, really, though. Whereas there's going to
exactly.
be caps. Yeah.
Exactly. And I've basically pointed that out, and I mailed it to my landlord this morning. And I suggest that you guys do too if you don't have that situation in the system. The reason is your landlord actually wins because this is the psychology, by the way, of how a copywriter thinks at times.
Mm.
The psychology behind this email is quite simply saying you can lose money because, like, the thing is, he kicks me out
Mm-hmm.
because I can't pay my rent for whatever reason. It's too expensive. Clients not paying on time. I have too much shit going on. I'm stressed out, so obviously I can't really create much, and all this, that, the other kind of kicks off. So for him,
Mm-hmm.
it's a case of high risk,
Mm-hmm.
but he can't kick me out.
Mm-hmm.
All they can do is threaten me, which
Yeah.
sours our relationship. Because he's gonna be like, I'm gonna kick you out unless you pay. I'm like, you can't kick me out because I have not violated anything. The reason I can't actually pay you is because government enforced ruling.
Yeah.
Oh, well, blah, blah, blah. Whereas if I turn around and say, look, what if I pay you a reduced amount for now? That means
Mm-hmm.
that it's the same thing as like kind of going to a house. And this is something I did learn from a friend of mine in the real estate industry, is if you have a cash amount
Mm-hmm.
that is a respectable sum and you offer it below the asking price, so like $1 million home and you went in with 700,000 instead, you
Mm-hmm.
look, you can either go for $1 million, fair enough, or you can take 700,000 today, which I have cash in my account to transfer.
Yeah.
Which one are they going to take?
Mm-hmm.
9 out of 10 times, they're going to take the one that's 700,000.
Yeah.
The reason being, we're just instant gratification is far easier than delayed gratification and future like prospecting. So if I say to them, you're getting $1,000 a month from me
Mm-hmm.
for the next 3 months, and then after that, my rent is going to go up slightly more significantly.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be feasible? I mean, the worst thing they can say is no, to
No.
which they're shooting themselves in the foot. And if they say yes, I bought myself 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people, if you switch your perspective ever so slightly in that direction, this becomes a really big opportunity, because I'm doing this with everything in my life. I'm actually messaging every area of my life and going, guys, can I pay you a substantially less amount for the next 90 days and give myself room?
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the thing. If I can reduce the majority of my bills and the noise around me down to almost minimum
Mm-hmm.
for the next 90 days where it's quiet, how creative do you think my brain's going to be? And more importantly, how creative do you think your brain's going to be if you have a plan?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if you do a product launch, you design the product, you write all the copy, everything's ready to go, you test the funnel, it starts working 60 days in.
Mm-hmm.
Last 30 days, over the hump, we make a crap load of money. Our clients are making money. Everyone's happy. I'm making money. Now it comes to the time where I have to pay all these little things off. But now I have a surplus of cash.
Mm-hmm.
So that all that gets paid off easily. And now I have money that's constantly coming in, rolling in, because I've created a secondary income stream.
Yeah.
So you see how you can actually build this time to build
Mm-hmm.
your audience, your income, your everything. It's there. Just
Mm-hmm.
you need to tap into it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So just kind of taking a step back, thinking outside the box, figuring out, yeah, like if people are struggling in this time, obviously they have to do what they got to do to make ends meet, but there's probably a lot more wiggle room for some people than what they may realize. And that
Yeah,
might be better leveraged in creating things that are going to pay off in the long term. So,
exactly.
exactly.
There's a lot of upside that people need to look at. I mean, yes, it's sucky. It's the world's going to hell at times. But guess what? Now you have more time today to impact the world than ever before. And with the like, this is something that people don't really get, or like they don't take full advantage of or are grateful for. We
Mm-hmm.
have the internet.
Yeah.
Imagine we were going through this without the internet. It's the 90s. Not everyone has a personal computer.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's really slow. It's dial up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, our infrastructure isn't really built to actually handle this many people online at one time because the internet's still fairly new.
Yeah.
You can't go out. People are going to go start crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have something to actually alleviate that, and something that we can actually go out and give to the world. So the truth is, realistically, you could totally do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something that's there. So sorry, I'm just like going off the soapbox thing here,
Oh,
but I
that's all
promise we'll
right.
talk about more fun stuff. But I hope these are giving you
No.
ideas of how like the brain, how you can actually like take advantage of this time, and how you can use your copywriting skills to help people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. No, I think that's really good to Yeah, I mean, my whole goal kind of for these types of interviews was to kind of talk more about mindset anyways,
Yeah.
because, like everyone has certain strategies and methods, and we can learn them and implement them, but the power really comes from the person that developed those, and so anytime we can kind of get a peek at the background, at the mindset, what's going on in that person, then I feel like we're better off. Basically, I think we as marketers often spend a lot of time studying our ideal prospect and getting in their head, but then when we're trying to learn from other copywriters and marketers, we just take a lot of what they say at face value. We don't apply like the same level of like investigation, I guess, to be able to adapt that to the same level. So with that, one thing that I've been asking along these interviews is, was there a particular experience or moment that kind of impacted you and how you view like marketing and copywriting? Like, can you tie back your perspective or the way that you think through things? Was there like a moment or something that you tie back to?
I'm gonna answer this in three ways.
All right, go for it.
One of the I'll give you the most obvious one, which is when it comes to self. So
Okay.
I'm a very shy marketer.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is I don't put myself out there because for some very daft reason, the core belief that I had in my brain was you need to get extremely good at this and then everyone will show up at your door. Not
Yeah.
true,
Okay.
by the way,
Mm-hmm.
but be extremely good at what you do does help, because when you do break through to the other side, I guarantee you everyone starts to knock a path to your door.
Yeah.
And I say that as someone that's been doing this since he was 12, went pro at
Mm-hmm.
18, $700 million in sales for my clients. The only reason I can do all that is I got really good at what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there is a reason I hold so many fucking records. There's a reason that I have so many different things. And by the way, these aren't official records and awards. These are records in companies of things I've broken for them.
Mm-hmm.
Conversion rate, testing rate, opt-in rates, like click-through rates, just you name it, I've broken damn near every record for most of my clients.
Yeah.
Which is excellent.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that really got to me and like how I view marketing with this was I never self-aggrandized.
Mm.
And in my interview with Chris McCombs, which I'm sure you've heard as
Yeah, I
well,
did listen to that. Yeah.
we go into
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of depth with this, and he actually gives a formula of the 5 things you need to do to actually really market yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I would definitely suggest checking that out. But Chris McCombs, that's MCCOMBS, Chris and I, he really made it obvious to me that like self-aggrandizement was a thing I wasn't doing, and that's what really has shifted my marketing perspective right now. Is there is a lot more
Mm-hmm.
self-aggrandizement in the way I write, and it's
Yeah.
getting,
Okay.
it's
Mm-hmm.
taking time, but it's getting there. The second thing that's actually quite prevalent, which applies to you and everyone listening, that really kind of opened my mind on different ways of marketing, was actually seeing and studying different types of advertising from
Mm-hmm.
different time periods. So I would read and study stuff from the 1900s, 1800s, and then all throughout the 1900s to 2000s and everything in the last 20 years. I'm a consummate studier. I will read and see everything I can. I will check out sales pages, emails, magalogs, newspaper ads, books that are
Mm-hmm.
story and on like fictional books, nonfiction books. Basically, I
Mm-hmm.
read and study a lot. And the reason I do so, and I have a wide variety of different interests, I look at it from that perspective. The reason is I'm looking for the underlying emotions that are being triggered and what we're moving towards. Because if you look
Mm-hmm.
at stuff from 100 years ago in the 1920s, everything was almost based on logic. Like
Yeah. Okay.
people bought from logic than they did from emotion. They did buy internally from emotion, but all the ads were basically logic based and testimonial heavy. So for
Mm-hmm.
instance, there's a reason your doctor smokes Camels, and these are all the reasons why. It works, but it only had a certain lift rate.
Mm-hmm.
See, the big split for me came down. So you had direct response copywriting on one side, which is old school, logic heavy. It's all about you, very little about me. All your benefits, very little things you need to know about me. Fuck me, all about you.
Yeah.
Great strategy.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a lacking moment. I'm going to get crucified by so many people by this, but it's the truth. When brand copywriting came out, that sucked.
Mm-hmm.
It sucked. It was just like, hey, look at this product in the background.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not
Yeah.
going to even acknowledge it. Fuck this thing. It's
Mm-hmm.
there. It'll subconsciously do its thing. It's a magical
Mm-hmm.
thing. The key is combining the two together. You got to take the emotional from the visual cues of what there is here, and you have to describe it in a way that is about them and benefit driven to them. But you also need to build a story, the brand, around the direct mail piece and the direct response world, essentially giving birth to the term story selling, which I can't remember who said it first, but I know Nick Nanton definitely did say it before I did. And then I thought I came up with it. So I launched my course in 2015-16. And then years later, Nick and I became friends, and we realized that, hey, this is a thing, and now he's helping me out with the 2.0 version,
Wow,
which
that's
in
awesome.
and of itself is a bit of a lesson. But the whole term story selling is essentially taking a product, building a story around it to why it exists, making it emotional about benefit driven to you with some access to me. So now I've become half the conversation. People, again, were like, why do you have to be half the conversation? Because people buy stories. They have to be able to vicariously live through you. And this is the same reason I will always argue that Keanu Reeves is probably one of the best actors in Hollywood, even though people are like, he's wooden. No, the guy basically creates the perfect shoe mold fit for the average Joe to step into that role and actually believe they can achieve it. Think about it. It's how he does things. He's telling a story. And the third, so story is the second thing. So self-aggrandizement is number one, story and how it works and this whole thing is number two. And the third thing that really shifted my perspective on marketing was, well, there's a fourth, but we'll go 3.5 for that. The third, that's the key thing that's universally applicable, is research. You got to spend time researching and understanding and picking things up and dissecting. That all helps. And by that, I mean, like, have different hobbies and see how you can bring those hobbies into what you do. It definitely really helps out. And 3.5, because I know I'm going to get asked, it's this whole thing about being an empath. And Bren, you and I actually had this chat before this. My superpower, if there was one, as an X-Man member or any kind of superpower, is empaths all come from different shapes and sizes. Some people absorb things like a sponge. Like as soon as you walk in, they can feel your energy and absorb it. Other people feel the energy around them. For me, I have to speak to people. When I speak to you, I essentially enter your soul through your verbal communications with me. So when you're speaking to me, I can actually pick up your mannerisms, your tonality, and I can pick up the words and thoughts and feelings and the wavelength you move on and actually work from that perspective. It's the reason that whenever I do my research calls, I tend to do them with my client on the phone so I can actually speak, get what I need from them, and then let my brain expand out. And not everyone has that skill, but it's a skill that I take to my highest advantage. It's the reason why I can riff on a sales letter about back pain that doesn't sound scammy completely because I made it up on the spot.
Yeah. Exactly. So, wow, that's amazing. So then within that, then what would you say is a skill or something that's important to cultivate in, let's just use more broad terms. So let's just say in marketing in general today's, so you're talking about like the story selling. And so that is, we could see that as like a method or a technique. What's kind of the perspective behind that people would need to like adopt or step into to be able to execute that well?
Okay. So if I get your question correct, hold on. So if I get your question correct, so I'm trying to formulate in my brain, it would be a case of like, what is it specifically that they need to understand about the idea of story selling in order to actually get it correctly into their business? Okay. So the big key concepts that you really need to understand is, number one, know how to tell a story. Number two, how to write direct response copy. Combining the two is step three. And the big key concept it's going to sound really simple, but like the key concept is, do your research, but more importantly, make it entertaining.
Okay.
And the way that you do that is, once you've written it, read it out loud. And if you can captivate the audience's attention, perfect. If you can keep someone reading every page, you've done a great job. The problem I see that people have is their stories are boring.
Yeah, no, 100%.
So how you find your good stories are simple. Everyone has a sob story of like, I was shitty and now I'm successful. Everyone has one of those.
Yeah.
But there are different perspectives. And I have a 3-step method that I like to use, which is basically, so Brent, you and I are going to do this.
Okay.
We can either do it with one of us or we can make up a person. It's completely up to you. but like pick a thing and go, I'm gonna ask the question, what was your greatest, like, actually pick a market. Let's go with a market. We'll pick a market that's completely at random.
Oh my goodness, I'm not even. Hmm.
What's an interest of yours?
Oh my goodness, I have way too many interests.
Never a thing. Just pick one.
Never a thing. Well, I don't know how relevant this is. Well, I'm equally a comic book nerd. So that's the
All right,
first
cool.
thing when you say that. And then I'm like, well, hold on. What kind of offer are we going to build off of this?
Let's say it's a subscription box that every
All
month
right. Perfect. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I send you a new comic every single month. It's the latest issue. It's like 5 new comics, a beanie and a plushie and a Funko Pop. You get all of that. It's like $40. You're
Yeah.
saving like 100.
Yeah.
But you get it for $40 or something like that. So the way
Mm-hmm.
that I actually start crafting this off is I'd ask my question to the guy or the girl, why this? What
Mm-hmm.
was the thing that was so painful that drove you to do this? And so essentially, what was your greatest defeat? And they could be like, I remember getting, it's going to sound really trivial, but I remember getting the wrong comic, like waiting for a comic book to come out, and my local comic book store didn't get their delivery on the day. And it's not that I had to wait. I don't mind waiting to read a new comic book, but I'd been waiting for months for this to come out.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as it came out, all my friends, they just read it. And then unfortunately, in some of the forums that I'm particularly participating in, um, someone posted the spoilers, and it felt like they robbed me of the joy of reading that comic for the first time and the
Mm-hmm.
anticipation of what comes in.
Yeah.
And it sounds really dumb,
Mm-hmm.
but whenever you feel like you're going to read, when you're looking forward to something and it just collapses in front of you and you get the
Mm-hmm.
spoiler at a time when you didn't want it,
Yeah.
it really eats up at you. So for me, that really sucked. So
Mm-hmm.
I started to look at how I could get the comic books directly from the manufacturer. So now I'm actually building out the pipeline. So it's like, what's the victory on the other side? The victory could be that, like, I built the subscription box thing
Mm-hmm.
specifically for myself to begin with, and then I knew I could actually. My friends started to ask me, and then all these things had to happen in order to get to the victory, which is I have a subscription box business where you can get comics every month on time, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so what we do is we walk through the story, and that story would be something along the lines of, after I went ahead and actually looked at like local, I started to talk to local comic book shops and ask them if where they order their supply from, and if I could actually call their comic book suppliers, and I did, and eventually I ended up on this phone call where I could actually procure some comic books 2 or 3 days ahead of release date. So they were always guaranteed to arrive, and I'd be the one that gets the inside look right away. Now, obviously, this is usually within 24 hours prior or 12 hours prior to a comic book going live. So, I can't post spoilers as much ahead of launch day, but I can get the comic books. And I started to
Mm-hmm.
actually build comic books, a plushie, Funko Pops. I essentially started to get the actual what I wanted from these guys, but it was costing me $140 every single time,
Mm-hmm.
which, not bad, but it was costing me $140. It wasn't until a friend of mine came by one day when I got my delivery that they said, "Hey man, how are you getting this comic book? Let's just make up one, like Iron Man issue 400."
Okay.
Um, that arrived, and he was like, "How did you get Iron Man 400?" I was like, "Well, to be fair, I was like, I didn't really tell them. I was like, look, I got this deal with the company, blah 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 blah." And they were like, "Look, dude, if you can get me that as well, I'll pay you $140 because I've been dying to read these comics." And again, like you, I had the same pain. I was like, "Wow, I should really look into this." So
Mm-hmm.
I called them and asked them to send me two. Again, I paid $280. My friend paid me 140. And I was like, this is really cool. Obviously, I didn't make a profit because this was a friend, and I just wanted to make sure that I fulfilled an order. But then word very quickly spread amongst my community, and people started asking me if they could get the same deal.
Mm-hmm.
So I called up my supplier, and I just said to them, "Hey, listen, I'm going to do a great deal for you. I'm going to order 10 of these every single month. Is there any way you could knock off $40 on order?" Because they were charging me at like a premium or whatever it was. Initially, they said no, but then I said to them, "Look, I can get the 10 orders right away. Would this be something we can do?" And then very quickly they went ahead and actually, said yes to this. Next thing I know, I have 10 of my friends that get subscription boxes. I'm still charging $140, but I'm only paying $1,000, so I'm making like a $400 profit for myself. So it's all good and well. But as time went on, I started to move things around. In fact, I got the price right down after more people joined in, because I told them the more people that join, the lower I can get this price down. Got it all the way down to $40. I don't have to write the bit about to them saying that I was making a $400 profit.
Yeah.
I can say it's $100. I can say that I got this thing right down to like $40. And then eventually I just decided to put together the subscription box. Now, if you really want to get your comic books ahead of time, if you want to go ahead and join this cool community that we have going on, and more importantly, if you want to make requests about what comics we actually start bringing into circulation, right now we have these 5, and this is what you're getting every single month and what we're building. When you join us, you'll be picking up from the next comic issue. We don't do back order versions. It's only the ones that we have that are newest and current. And it's $40 a month. Do you want in? And then of course you have your clothes, your guarantee, and everything else in between. But do you see how you build out the entire story of how by this is a 1000% fictitious story. I made all of this shit up right now. Like, none of this is real. If you do have a comic book subscription thing and you do decide to use this, I expect my royalty check. But essentially, that's how I would structure that shit out. I took a real life story and experience, because I have had that disappointment. We've all had it. It wasn't with comic books, it was with different books. You have that and then you move forward. It's just crazy fun little things that people can look at, and no one actually thinks about it.
Well, and I think one thing that's really awesome that you were talking about too is just kind of like the relatability of the pain point. Like, I know a lot of people that would see that situation and they would like in their mind, they'd be like, and then my local comic book store was burned down and I would never be able to have another comic again in my life. But that's why I developed this really cool delivery system. But like, that just barely happens. But people experience disappointment every day. Like, they get let down all the time. And so being able to play off of like real life regular experiences, because who doesn't look to alleviate like small pains all day long? That's how we make decisions about food. That's how we make decisions about like impulse purchases. That's how we make decisions. Like, all sorts of things are like, I call them mini dreams. We're just like, what's a mini dream that we're trying to accomplish right now? And we have like a ton of mini dreams like throughout the day. So that's really awesome. And then you mentioned your clothes.
Yes.
So let's go ahead. I know you have developed an unpatented, an adult exclusive.
So this is a close. I'm going to preface this. So for the people that know who Mark Joyner is, aka the godfather of internet marketing, who is a legend in the industry, I actually told him this close after a podcast I did with him. Like, it was off air. Mark was like, "You sneaky, you're really sneaky." I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You found a way to get over the credit card tripwire without triggering it, so you can get people to say yes without actually asking for their credit card information."
Wow.
It's really simple. So if you've done any sort of clothes, there's a couple of my friends have they've got some of my friends have closes like, all right, what's the 16 digits across your card number? Go here, enter your regular credit card details, or go on this page, enter your put in your credit card and we'll send this whatever it is, or enter your investment, whatever it is. There's a bunch of different ways. I have a close, and my whole close is around removing as much fear as possible. And that's what my sales letters do. They remove as much fear of the next steps. I do this in VSLs, I do this in everything. So sales letter close is quite simple. You don't want to overdo it. I would suggest to leave it for just sales letters only, not for every piece of marketing, because then it dilutes the message. And you want to have
your email, just like, you don't have to enter.
Oh my God, some people do this all the time. It used to fuck me off. One of my friends did it on opt-in pages all day. It used to really piss me off. I was like, you're weakening something that's incredible. It's like, I'm going to use this high level thing and make it common, and I'm like, you're a fucking moron. You have to use it sparingly. If you want to use something similar like this for email, I'll do one for just like opt-in pages, right? I'll do that one in like a minute after I do this, just as long as Bren reminds me. So here's the thing. So the close is quite simple. I took this from John Carlton and then I expanded and evolutionized it. So John Carlton's thing that he taught me was, here's what you do next. And you walk the person through how they buy.
Yeah.
That's all he said to me. I agree. I developed that further, which is why it's unique. So here's the close. I'm going to do it to you right now. So here's how so it's $40 a month. So what's the price point? The price point is $40 a month. The reason why it's $40 is blah, 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 blah. So here's what you do next. Click the link, click the order button, and you'll be taken to our secure checkout page where, and these are the 4 magic words, you motherfuckers, pay attention, where you enter your regular details and complete your investment today. Once you've done so, you'll be taken to our thank you page and you will receive an invoice in 15 minutes letting you know how to get access to your program and to the product you just got. Or, you'll receive your email that invoices your first month with the date of when the next comic book releases, so we can get you started right away and send everything over. And then I go into the guarantee.
Boom.
But that close removes all fear. I've told you what page you're going to go on. Sometimes I go very specific. I'm like, click the order button, you're taken to our secure Thrivecart page, our secure PayPal page, our secure Samcart page, our secure whatever page it is. Once we do so, people automatically realize that the next page they see is natural, it's normal, and it's not weird.
Yeah. I mean, you're pre-framing them. So you're basically just being like, don't freak out, but this is supposed to happen.
This is what you're supposed to see.
Yeah.
Right. If you because it might redirect the URL to another thing and you'd be like, oh my God, he's scamming me. But no, it's actually taken to the right URL. So you have that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Now, why those 4 words work, enter your regular details. It's a very high level embedded command. And I didn't get this from NLP, by the way. This is one I accidentally invented. The way I can tell you how I came up with it, I was 22, 23 years old. I was writing letters, and at the time, everyone was looking at how do I say credit card without saying credit card? And for some reason, my brain went with that.
Yeah.
And then I realized I started to get really good closes with it. Like we were doing 25 to 37% increases in closes based on the simple reason that we were using these 4 words. It's like, this is fucking magnifying and mesmerizing. I'm going to look into it. So the whole thing was I got mad scientist hair right now. I'm very, very much aware.
Perfect for your explanation, though.
Right. Glasses, mad scientist hair, white lab coat, which is just a hoodie and a pink t-shirt.
Yeah, that's all right.
So here's how it goes. Enter is basically a command. Move forward, walk into a room, enter, press the button. It's just an embedded command of doing something that I want you to do. Which is personalized. You now realize that you have to enter these things. Regular means it's non-threatening. It's something you do every single day. If you've done it ever before. Details is vague enough for people to actually not freak out, but it's descriptive enough that people understand what's coming. And it's all down to that description, because now we're describing it. Once your description is there, your brain can go, I don't know what that word means exactly, but I know the descriptor of what it means. I kind of understand.
Yeah.
When you enter that, enter your regular details and complete your investment today, or complete your order today, enter your regular details and you'll get started right away. Any of those work perfectly. The little drops of gorgeousness. Now, I said I'd do one for email, for opt-in pages. So for opt-in pages, I actually put this in the subheadline.
Okay.
So I'll give you give me another industry, Brian, like anything industry person thing that we can like.
Oh, well, let's just, I mean, we're talking about, are we just doing opt-in for like an email list?
Yeah.
Let's just do it for like an internet marketer then. Let's just do for like an email marketer. Okay.
So yeah, piss easy for this one. Jay White, this is for you, buddy, if you're watching this. If you're not, I'm speaking to him later today, so.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, so here's a really simple one. Sorry, my brain's just gone blank for a second. No, here's an easy one. Discover how you can. It's piece easy. Discover how you can get more copywriting clients in the next 30 days during a pandemic than ever before. ... Here's where you actually say something that is a very overtly close, and it's enter your name and email address below to receive this impactful guide, this impactful 9-page guide that will show you how to get clients today. And then I'd go into like a little subheadline to the left, and the subheadline to the left would say, inside this guide, you'll receive, and I'd give them 3 to 5 bullet points, and then an opt-in on the right hand side. So it becomes a split page. You have bullets on the side, opt-in on the other, and a testimonial underneath. So it's basically single line,
It's like a mini sales letter. There you go.
Broken down into like split down the middle of an opt-in, a split column form, and then another single line. So I'm actually saying it that way because for the people that design brain, you got like one column, half columns each, and then one column underneath, and that basically is how your structure of your opt-in. For me, at least, has hit on average 45 to 95% opt-in rates, depending on the industry that we're in.
Yeah, that's awesome.
By the way, the 45% is on cold traffic. Like we paid ads for it, and we were getting 45% opt-in rates based on something. So it's something fun and easy. So yeah.
Wow. Well, that's awesome, mate. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. And it's getting a bit late here and gonna have to wrap up, but I really appreciate you giving us part of your very valuable time, sharing some insights and perspectives. And yeah, I really hope that all of the viewers of this walk away with as much value as I certainly have.
Yeah, same here, dude. It's been absolutely awesome. I'm glad we've been able to do this. For my friends yesterday, I'm sorry that I put some of you guys in a bit of a panic. There was just this personal issue I needed to bring up because some of our mutual friends are watching this. But we're all good and well, and I should be back on it. In the meantime, however, I hope you guys have enjoyed this, found it mildly entertaining, and some informative.
Do you have anything? Sorry, do you have any ways that you recommend that people connect with you if they want to and are not already?
Yeah, I'd say probably the best thing you guys can do is go onto my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Adil Amarsi official. There's only 5 or 6 like big videos on there that you guys can check out that teach copy. But while I'm locked in quarantine, I'm going to be releasing a lot more.
That's awesome. Great.
Honestly, I really just want to make, like, video is more my thing that I love. Also, you guys can check out adilamarsi.com, which is more where my blog is and my podcasts. And finally, I guess social media, realistically, like Facebook is one of the, as much as I love Facebook, I've hit my friend limit, and it's been a real pain.
No, that's all. Yeah, exactly.
So like Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, literally type in Adil Amarsi and you'll find me.
That's awesome.
Obvious face, but that's me.
That's great, man. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And yeah, it means a lot to me. And until next time.
All right, guys. Thanks again. And thanks for having me, dude.
Yeah, man. Have a good one. Bye-bye.